Hi everyone, you're back watching PÖFF TV. This is a segment of Meet the Filmmakers, and here's our filmmaker, Alexis Morante, here to talk about Oliver's Universe, his feature film, which is part of Just Film or Just Film program. So, let's talk about Oliver.
Okay. Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, this is a film about a troubled, kind of introverted boy who has to move across the country, change his life completely, who also has a very active imagination. So, we have a lot of magical realism, fantasy, we also have family dynamics, arguments, we also have drug dealing in this film. A lot of many different genres, am I right? So, tell me, how did this idea come together, and maybe how long did it take to mix this all in one pot?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start answering for how long, because I think it was my whole life. Because this is my first feature film, and it's coming from my childhood. So it's the real life. And you are right, it was difficult to face so many genres in one movie. That I think is a difficulty for this movie, but also I think that's what makes the movie special, because it's a real movie about a real story. And in the 80s, where I'm from the south of Spain, we were living every day different genres. I mean, I was a child with difficulties in the family, with poverty, so it's a drama with my family. Then you have adventures because you are meeting new friends, you have a gang, you play football, there is a final match in the movie, really important, that's really adventuring. Then you have comedy, because in the south of Spain we have that character that is a little bit comic, facing dramatic things. And also, the most important, you name it, it's magical realism. That is very important in this movie. It's the reality, the social reality, with fantasy in the mind of this child. And this story is coming from real life and from a writer that is my friend, Miguel Ángel González.
So he wrote a book, right, that this film is based upon, but you did have another screenwriter. So your friend, the author of the book, is one of the screenwriters, but then also Raúl Santos, am I right?
Yeah. And Raúl Santos is also a friend of mine. We are three friends from the childhood in the same gang since we were 10 years old. And it's a coincidence that we are the three of us, we know how to write films. Miguel Ángel González was the writer of the novel, so he wrote our friendship and our childhood in a book. And then he collaborated with Raúl Santos and I writing the script. And it was very easy because we are friends and we really enjoy doing that. And actually Raúl Santos is a really good filmmaker too, and he's writing with me every movie that I'm making. So I think it's better if you write with friends, if you have the luck that your friends can write and has that talent, because then everything is easy in life, like everything when you do it with friends. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it really shows in the film. It really shows how fun it was also to write it, to direct it, which is very nice to see. So I guess the collaboration was really good. But were there any challenges that you had to overcome, the three of you?
Yeah, it was a challenge, very important challenge. The first one was adapt a novel to a script. That is a difficult thing, especially this book. So at some point, we abandoned the novel, and then we start to put different things to make the movie special. So, for example, the novel is not social. It's just with astronomy, with fantasy, with a child, with the adventure, but it doesn't have this social part or dramatic part that we put in the movie. The drug dealers, the poverty, the racism, all those elements are in the movie. And that was the most difficult thing, to put all together, to make sense as a movie, and also to have important things in every character, in every main character. His dad, Oliver, of course, his dad, and his grandpa.
Yeah, this seems like everybody's dream, to be able to do something this creative and on this level with friends, and I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
But I do have to ask a question. So you do have to direct a lot of kids in this film. So could you give me some tips? How did you handle this challenge? How is it to work with children?
I think the most important tip to work with children is to have empathy with them. You have to like children. That's the first thing, because there are some adults that doesn't like to work with children. I really love it. I mean, they have a good energy. They have natural talent, and they can play like if they were playing that word, right? That they are playing and having fun doing a movie. So that's the most important thing. You don't have to work with them, you have to play with them. And in this movie especially, they play a lot because they were together all the time. They make a really good friendship among them, and you can feel that in the movie, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you were building these characters of children, I'm curious, so do the kids themselves, the actors, are they similar to their roles, or are they completely different?
It depends. It depends. Some of them are similar because we were looking for real kids. We made a really big audition, more than 1,000 children.
Wow.
But, for example, the protagonist is really different. Oliver, in real life, Rubén Fulgencio, which is a really good actor, it's a leader. In real life, he's leader, he's good playing football, he's always smiling, he is very confident, and Oliver is not. Oliver is the opposite. Oliver is really shy, he's really nervous, really stressed, so it's totally different. And I think he did a very good job in this movie.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was always wondering about directing kids. But what we have to address is that this film, I feel like it's also made for adults because, you know, there's a lot of this, it's magical, but there's a lot of reality. You also don't shy away from showing kids, you know, how they really are. Like, they swear, they, you know, bully each other, they really, like, play sometimes cruel games. So who was your target audience in mind where you were writing this or directing this?
You are totally, absolutely right with your words, because that was one of the most difficult things for me to convince the distribution and all the producers. I mean, to convince them that this movie was for every target. I mean, it's not a movie for kids. It's a movie for adults that kids can see also. So that's the thing. And I think in the 80s, there were a lot of movies like that, like Stand By Me or Never Ending Story or Back to the Future. They are movies that you can see as an adult and you like it. And also, it has very important themes, this movie, for adults, like drama, like deep feelings, all of these things I think the kids doesn't understand well. So this movie is in two different levels. If you are a kid, you are going to enjoy the adventure part, and if you are an adult, you are it's gonna get to your heart, the movie.
Yeah. All right. So I was also thinking to maybe a question to us to conclude this, I think. So what is Oliver's universe? Did he find it? And yeah, how is he doing?
I think the Oliver's universe, it's his own universe. I mean, I think it's the neighborhood. When you find a place where you belong, that's the universe, and that's the most important thing to have a happy life. I think, under my point of view, the grandfather is always talking to him about the whole universe, the stars, the Halley's Comet, but what really mean that is you have to find your own place. And I think Oliver found it, and it's the neighborhood. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's so lovely to hear. So thank you so much for coming here to PÖFF TV, to our lovely little studio. I hope everybody, at least now that we can hear our director talking so passionately about this and raising so many interesting points, I hope everybody goes to the cinemas to see this. But if not on Just Film at PÖFF, then the movie is coming out next year, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, perfect. So we will be waiting for you in the cinemas then. And thank you so much for tuning in. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.